everybody. This is Informed and Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm giving it all she's got, Captain.
You're also Nick.
You know I can't do this correctly.
True, but you can do it incorrectly while including your name.
Something, the dilithium crystals are going to blow.
Yeah.
We need to technobabble the technobabble in order to avoid more technobabble.
Well, there's no avoiding technobabble. Technobabble is just more.
Well, no, we have to technobabble the technobabble.
Yeah, you don't technobabble the technobabble to avoid the technobabble. You technobabble the technobabble to improve the technobabble.
And now I'm Nick because there's our introduction.
Are you sure you don't need to give your technobibliography?
Nah, I mean...
No.
It's not like I'm the Borg. It's not like I'm adding your biological distinction to my own or something.
Biological and technological distinctiveness to your own.
Oh, is there a secondary line about distinctiveness? I've literally watched Next Gen through once.
The line is, we are the Borg. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness.
The real Trek fan, ladies and gentlemen.
God damn it, I can't say it. Distinctiveness. I can't say the word.
You know, this is the time to parlay into the fact that you're the reason I've watched as much Trek as I have. Like, on my own, I watched Enterprise. That was about... I liked Enterprise. I will forever be convinced that Tucker is one of the monkeys NASA shot into space, was horribly mutated, came back, and made an engineer.
Distinctiveness. There you go. There we go. Distinctiveness. Ah, God damn it.
I gave you a way out, and you just jump back in?
I thought I had.
What are you, 7 of 9?
I'm pretty sure 7 of 9 could say it. More articulately than I...
I'm sure she could, too. Queen. Borg Queen.
Anyways, all right.
So if you haven't figured it out, we are boldly going where several fat men in toupees have been before.
Yeah. We are going to react to Star Trek Discovery.
I'm very excited about this. I don't know how my co-host feels about it.
I decided I wanted nothing to do with this show after I watched the trailers for a variety of reasons. So I never... Okay, then. Well, Nick... I was just gonna go with it, but apparently Nick's car alarm has gone off. So okay.
I hit the button, it's fine. Don't cut anything.
He hit the button. It's fine. We're still good.
We'll do it live.
I should have seen that coming. Anyways, I decided I didn't want. I watched a lot of Star Trek. I've seen most of Star Trek. I decided I wanted nothing to do with the show when I saw the trailers. I just didn't like the look of it. So I never started watching it.
And then I watched a bit of it really high and distracted at work. Not that I'm high at work. I would never do that.
And he started talking about how he likes it and really thinks I should try watching it. So
I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna do my absolute best to be spoiler free. I think there's a lot of things where I'm going to have genuine reactions because I don't remember them happening. And on top of that, I really think that this is a very earnest go at the intellectual property. It's different. And I will be the first to admit it is different on every level, but I don't think that's bad. It's just different.
4 words. Star Wars Disney canon.
Jedi used to fuck. Jedi used to fuck a lot. Do you know how many Kenobis there are in a galaxy far, far away?
It's different, but
nowhere
that doesn't
near
make
as
it
many
bad.
as there used to be.
It's different, but that doesn't make it bad.
If there's less fucking, it's bad. There is definitely more fucking in this. This is a thirsty trek, sir. It starts in a desert. This is a thirsty trek.
That would be one of the draws for you. It is the most. Is it as thirsty as Iron-Blooded Orphans?
Nothing is as thirsty as Iron-Blooded Orphans. Okay,
Good.
okay. Wing was thirsty as shit. Wing was arguably the thirstiest Gundam and the thirstiest sci-fi franchise. Arguably.
Until Iron-Blooded Orphans.
And then goddamn McGillis. But we're not reacting to Gundam today.
Yeah. Okay. Now that this intro has gone off on like 3 different tangents and yeah, but yeah,
We have informed and confused them. We are doing our work.
Yeah. So in summary, I don't think I'm going to like this show. He has seen it, but has been too high to remember most of it. That is where we're at.
I really believe you just need to give it a chance. Go into it just with the full expectation you're not gonna like a couple things. Just understand
I already
implicitly
have that
there's
expectation.
some things you will not like. Try not to let those things
Ruin the rest of
taint
it?
the rest. Yeah, like I feel it's like a pizza when a couple of the toppings aren't to your liking. The pizza's not ruined, man. It's not. You just got to get the black olives off.
That's actually a bad example because, I am a pizza purist.
I know.
I am like fanatically a purist when it comes to pizza, but I get your point. All right.
The conservative obsessed with purity.
Let's watch this
Insert Cardassian joke here. Did I save it?
I'm not sure what point you're making. Cardassians and purity.
I was going more for the fiercely conservative nature of their society.
Oh.
The Cardassians are literally bound to tradition.
They are very traditional people, yes.
I know. The Romulans, I would actually say, are more flexible in their views on tradition and society.
Did you think he was talking about the Cardassians?
He thought I was talking about OJ's lawyer's kids. Just making sure, are actual subtitles on, or am I...
No, I'm pretty sure this is just the translation.
Okay.
They're talking.
Oh no, there's multiple parts with hard-coded subtitles.
Oh, hold it. Yeah. I don't know.
Should be that guy.
Yeah, there you go. English subtitles, there you go.
Thank you. Sorry, the cord's not long enough on those cans. I can't actually get them to me.
Those are supposed to be Klingons.
A lot of people really don't like the redesign. It actually is fine with me.
It is the #1 reason why I decided I wanted nothing to do with this show.
See, okay, look past the faces, like, look to the content of their actions and words. They are Klingon. Be more open to. Right now, you're like those Klingon members of the High Council that were like, Worf can't be a Klingon, look at him. I'm telling you, these are Klingons.
Isn't that the whole idea of Starfleet?
It's one of those things too. I don't have
Storm's moving faster than I
the
thought.
issue of knowing the
Ship
canon
won't be able to
inside
pick
and
up our
out to like
signatures.
knowing problems
Unless
with
we can contact
timelines.
Lieutenant
So like,
Saru.
I just see the
He can
old
transfer us over.
communicator thing
take
where
a
they're
walk.
pre-combat.
This is supposed to
and
be-
I just think it's kind of fun.
This is supposed to be several years before the original
Yep.
series. I know that much. Oh, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and point out all the bloody inconsistencies because I know there's a crap ton of them, and it would be a waste of time to do that.
Well, it's
so,
one of those things. Like, I don't know whether or not the comm badge that they're using is an inconsistency. I just think it's cool that we went back and we're having a discussion in these time periods. I think it's beneficial and helpful to the franchise that we're revisiting a time period.
Follow my footsteps, Michael. Even lines.
Why? Captain, where are we going?
Oh yeah, right?
You're
Like
to trust
dude, they
me,
put in
number one.
so much
Right now
effort
we're
into the
really
creature
lost.
effects in this. It's great.
far
And it's a
too
lot of
small to see
creature
with the naked eye.
effects. It's
you can't
not
get a course without a
CGI
star.
in a lot of instances.
Is it
It's
wise to be
folks in
heading away from the village?
prosthetics. And
It's
there,
hard to imagine.
there's something about folks
You
in
served under me
prosthetics
for
that's
7
always better.
years.
What will you do if we're trapped here for 89 years?
That's easy. I'd escape.
These are our footprints. You've walked us in a circle.
I will say that was a very Kirk-like statement.
Exactly.
She gets Kirk points for that line.
Dude, this entire series is Kirk points. You don't understand. Like, I'm to the point where Pike is into this, and I told you, like, when I was like, hey, maybe we should do a reaction of this. Pike
How did
might
they
be
find
my
us?
favorite Starfleet
I
captain.
said a
He
star.
really might be.
Like, interesting ship design. Looks absolutely nothing like any of the ships of that era should look like. Not even remotely close. Interesting design, though.
Okay, that's the bigger bitch for me. The marker that they walked out in the desert was a Starfleet insignia with near perfect symmetry. It's like, you couldn't have just done a triangle, you assholes. You had to show up.
All right.
How much time did you really need to have
Okay.
the Yurt's time to captain up speech?
On Earth.
Oh,
May 11th,
it's all right.
1956.
It's all right. It's not.
A
It's
Sunday.
somewhat similar to the Picard theme.
The crew of the
I
USS
actually felt
Shenzhou
it had
has been
more
called
in
to the
common
edge
with
of
the original. I
Federation
could
space to
hear
investigate
undertones of
damage
that
done
in
to
the
Well, they both have-
counter melody.
They both have
Blast
elements
burns
of
around
it.
the hole are inconclusive. Were they caused by an asteroid? Or was it deliberately destroyed? Saru thinks it was malicious.
The two things
Saru's
that
Kelpian. He thinks everything's
make
malicious.
irritate me about this, the changes in the show in
Any
general.
idea what it is?
Number one,
By all
they insist on
indications,
saying it
nothing
exists in the prime in the same
Starfleet's
timeline.
reputation for tech hygiene
If
is
they had
exemplary.
said it was just a brand new
When everything goes
reboot,
down, the Federation
starting their own
sends
thing
ship to
from
fix it.
scratch,
You think
fine.
it's
You can
stronger
change
than
whatever you
the
want at
Federation?
that point. You're starting
they
over
are.
again. Fine,
They
that's your
have.
interpretation of it. Good.
What if moving forward they retcon that statement to that's what they
I have
do?
taken the initiative of keeping
Oh,
us
I'm aware they do some janky shit where they don't belong in the right timeline. and they end up-
That wasn't the point I was getting at. I'm meaning from an actual production standpoint, say they produce a follow-up series and they go forward with the full understanding of, no, that's how we started, but that's not what we're gonna do. We recognize that as folly. My question is, what
Oh,
if they
that would-
what if
that would
what
be
if they
better.
adjust course?
That would be better.
Necessary
That's still
You wouldn't get on them for being
There is
wishy-washy or whatever. No flip-floppity.
calibrating sensors.
it wouldn't take away from the initial mistake.
Magpie.
And the other one is
Is that what damaged our relay?
a lot of the differences
What
in
am I
this, my
looking at?
understanding, are different because they couldn't get the rights to
Object of
use certain
unknown origin.
things, certain imagery, certain
Let's get more
designs.
specific.
I'm unable to bring
I
them to
don't
focus.
respect that. I do
Number
not
one?
respect them for making the decision to
Range is 2,000 kilometers.
fuck it. We'll
During
just
358,
do different shit
1269,
rather than take the
roughly
time and effort to be able to get the
150
rights to
meters long, tucked into that
do it
accretion
properly.
disk, almost directly
I don't know.
below us.
That
Some
irritates me.
sensor
I think that
dead
can
zone.
actually bring out a lot of
Some kind of
creativity.
scattering field is confounding the ship's ability to
I think that can
It's a
bring out.
legal thing.
I think that can bring out a lot of creativity from a writing team. I think that can bring you to create something altogether new
in
and
that
bigger.
case, they should have done what they do in the later seasons, where you go forward in the timeline. Because at that point, you can make everything look different because it's a new era.
I get what you're saying, but I firmly got to establish this here. I don't think it's bad to go back and do things like
not to
this.
speculate.
I think occasionally you need to update things.
But when you change things like the look of the Klingons, that really don't add anything other than you just so you can say that it's different.
I'm willing to argue it's just the effects of the Nekrat.
I'll be back in 19. A flyby.
It seems a waste of the ship's resources. What will be
The
gained?
You do
neurodegenerative
understand that
condition
being
which
afraid
gives
of
Klingons
everything
their
means you
ridges.
learn nothing. There's no opportunity to discover, to explore.
Did I just fucking dunk on the Trekkie?
Relay audit.
You both
I feel
Saru,
dirty in a good way.
Captain, that sticky variable.
Channel
You know, we
clear
should probably
and
actually
ready to
focus on the
transmit.
episode because at this point,
6-second
I'm still not
directional
100%
thrust
sure what they're actually
realignment.
doing. We've been talking
They
too damn much.
discovered an anomaly, and they're now going to investigate, as Starfleet do, because of interference from the sun and debris fields. They can't take a normal shuttlecraft, so she's going in with a jetpack system thingamabobber. You know, doing the impossible, reckless thing that happens in the first episode of every Trek series for no reason.
Flight checklist complete.
This is the Picard making Riker separate the ship moment. This is just pointlessly dangerous for no reason.
Computer, enable igniter.
Except everyone here likes each other and has been working together for years, so no one's measuring anyone's vulva here. That's not what's happening.
To be fair, that's not just the Star Trek thing. They get that from like sub movies. Because in every sub movie, the first thing the captain does
Take us to crush depth!
Yep. Alien dude.
So that's the new Batleth, and I don't
Oh,
hate
it's a
it.
Klingon.
Yeah.
See, I didn't realize that looks. All right, the emblem's correct. They got the emblem right.
And that's the new Batleth, and just from an actual like weapon standpoint, that looks like it makes more sense. The blades on the ends look like they make more sense.
It looks like a bow missing a bowstring.
You could actually hook, and the outer edge is still bladed, so that's still a stabbing and slashing weapon.
It might be an effective weapon and a bat left.
I have number one. Telemetry
More
only.
like, honestly, I think the
17
new
followers. We'll
Batleth
make it
looks
unless
a
we get her
lot
back now.
fucking
Transporter
mean.
control. Do we have her, Mr. Reed?
The old
Veterans
Batleth always
Shall we
looked
get
a
the
little
lock on
funny
her?
to me.
Boost the signal.
A little bit like it was a toy.
You better get me a signal.
I mean, they are meant to be
Jetpack.
ceremonial weapons
She's
first and
offline.
foremost.
Floating
They're
free.
not designed for
Engineering.
efficiency. They're
Can't get a
designed
lock. We're running manual calculations.
Well,
for
they're
ceremonial reasons.
they're a cultural holdup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't transport her until she clears it.
They're just outside the orbit of a sun. How much more light do you need?
They were in shadow, though.
Commander, please respond.
Nothing's ever perfect enough for you two.
Commander Burnham.
I'm a Trekkie. This is Star Trek. What did you think you got yourself into? I will say this. More than the way they physically look, I don't like the outfits. The
I
outfits
don't,
are
honestly,
ugly
I
as hell.
don't think it's that different from the other Klingon garb. Like, honestly, the other Klingon outfits we've seen, stylistically, to me, not that different than this. These are more like armor made out of some sort of chitinous material. This looks like more ceremonial garb.
They're too bony. They're too pokey. Klingon garb isn't that pokey.
There are other Klingon wardrobes as we go along. I don't feel I'm ruining anything by saying that.
No.
They don't look exactly this way forever.
These are weird. Yeah, they look like a cross between a Klingon and an elf. There we go.
So they're orcs?
Or an orc, yeah. Yeah, they look like orcs. God. Oh, is this a flashback?
Yeah. And this is the one aspect of her character that I do believe is jumping the shark, but they actually do a good job not overplaying it.
The whole I was raised as a Vulcan thing.
Klingon political order.
Well, yeah.
Correct. Location
See, that's not the problem.
Klingon terror raid.
It's who raised her that starts
Oh,
making
yep.
it.
I'm aware of her familial
Yeah,
relations.
I'm not saying shit till it's on screen, but
Yeah.
Human Vulcan science.
That is dumb.
See,
That was.
I don't
was-
hate it.
yeah.
I don't hate it. Like, say as like a guidance counselor, or the person who took him in, like a friend of theirs, and be like, "Hey, talk with this guy." Like that, absolutely, absolutely.
Klingon terror raid. Program.
We'll get there. Precisely now. I do actually really like the guy they have playing.
When
Sarek.
emotion brings us
I like him.
ghosts from the past, only logic.
I can see that as a young Sarah.
Yeah, right. Like he looks the
quicker,
part.
not
He
answers.
gives the part the appropriate
human
weight.
tongue is not
He
blood.
plays it a little more dickish
gives you
than I
human
think he
heart.
should. If I'm remembering Sarek from the original movies, like Search for Spock and shit, like. Yeah, he was kind of arrogant, but he was also kind of British, so it just sort of came across as part of the voice. Here, Sarek feels a little arrogant.
He's also a little bit younger, so.
How did I get here?
Fair.
I think that fits
you know
his
what?
character.
You know what? That's actually fair, and that's something I genuinely hadn't considered. And this is why I wanted to watch this with you too.
Yeah.
like,
Commander, what are you doing?
All right. Listen, no one's seen a Klingon in 100 years.
I am not delusional. This has nothing to do with a concussion. Philippa.
I mean, that lines up with the last show they had, but like, I find that.
see, and I don't have any cognitive dissonance to this. I just take it as setup, and I'm able to stay in it.
I don't think that's technically a violation of canon, but I don't like it.
I somehow knocked him into his blade. I killed him. But that object could be hiding a Klingon raiding party obscured behind that scattering field.
If there are Klingons in the sector, they may be responsible for the damage to our relay.
If there are Klingons in this sector, we should withdraw immediately.
This is Federation space. Retreat is not an option. Whatever is over there needs to show itself.
And also, you find out that the Klingon garb is very much determinant as to what house they are even in. That's just what these guys wear. Yeah, the Klingons are...
There are still problems with that. There are still problems with that explanation, but...
the Klingons in this are a much more... I don't want to say individualistic, because they're not. They're still collectivist, but it's tribal. It's there's very many small communities forming the whole. It's not a hegemony. See, and like things like that, like the intense exchange, very personally like that, that feels right in a Klingon to me.
Okay, again,
I know that your issue's visual. My point is, though, like, I honestly feel like they've got the writing here.
I will say this. If the writing is the thing you're thinking I like the most, then you need to focus and listen to the actual dialogue is probably the key thing here. Because if we're talking, all I'm going to pick up on is the visuals.
Okay,
We've already established that's something I don't
provide
like.
no content for the reaction. Got it.
You're transmitting on every
No,
subspace
I'm just...
channel there is. Your orders, Commander.
It would also help if the subtitles weren't just
Any response?
black and thin and unreadable.
Commander, tell
That's
her
the Klingon ship that they've
we
got scanned
must
right there.
withdraw.
I'm afraid that's
It does
not
look like
what
an
it is.
oversized Y-wing. Kind of, structurally.
Except instead of bombs, it's full of dead Klingons.
Your world has
Full of
food
coffins,
chains.
apparently. Yeah, that's what they
Mine
said.
does not.
The ideal outcome for any Klingon interaction is battle. They're relentlessly hostile, sir. It's in their nature.
The Federation and the Klingon Empire have always been on the cold side of war.
There is a space station at Eagle 12, 3 light years away. The Andorian colony at Gamma Hydra is 6. Sunjo is the only line of defense if the Klingons attack.
Not if. When.
I have to hope that whatever happens here can serve as a bridge between our civilizations.
That's the diplomat in you talking. What does the soldier say?
Nothing good.
I like that line of dialogue. I like that. It's a diplomat you talking.
Status!
No, just the idea of her, maybe, the idea of don't get sidetracked into one mindset. Come at it from multiple angles. Make sure you're looking at it at all angles.
I think there's a lot of strength in this series. I think way too many people just wrote it off, and I think they're missing something.
Need your help.
I assume the timing of the call was not coincidental. The quadrant reports a new star in the sky. What have you done out there on the edge of Federation space?
We've encountered the Klingons.
How rare to meet one's own demons in the flesh.
I killed one.
Hey, Ben. Can I use
In
your
light
voice?
of the fact that they killed your parents, some might think
That's what I'm doing at that point.
However, if a death was necessary, I am satisfied it was not yours. When a civilization acts in opposition to its instincts, maybe under the influence of something or someone new. Great unifiers, few and far between, but they do come. Often such leaders will need a profound cause for their followers to rally around.
A war.
Be very careful.
this
Your
scene
assumptions
is what sold
are
me
not
on
being
this
driven
series.
by your past.
This isn't about what happened.
No,
Captain,
the
we have to
exchange
fire
between
on
her
them.
and
Hit that
Sarek
ship
there,
with
like
everything
when I
we
was
got.
the first time I
Absolutely
clicked
not.
this on, I
They
was just
have
sort
empowered
of
weapons. They don't appear
in
to
and
pose
out
an
on it,
imminent threat.
and then
The
that
Klingon
came on,
threat
and
is
all of a
always
sudden
imminent
I
and
was
inevitable,
focused in. It's just like,
Thank you, Mr. Gant.
okay,
I'd like
there's
to remind
something
you we're
here.
wildly outgunned.
240 years ago, near Hatoria, a Vulcan
The
ship
episode is
crossed into
titled
Klingon space.
Vulcan
The
Hello.
Klingons attacked immediately. They destroyed the vessel. Vulcans don't make the same mistake twice. From then on, until formal relations were established, whenever the Vulcans crossed paths with Klingons, the Vulcans fired first. They said hello in a language the Klingons understood. Violence brought respect. Respect brought peace. Captain, we have to give the Klingons a Vulcan hello.
Vulcan neck pinch.
Vulcan neck pinch. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dang.
Time to Starfleet the fuck up. Did it?
You're relieved, Mr. Saru.
Where's the captain?
I provided her with Klingon intel from a personal source on Vulcan. She's passing it to the Admiral. Weapons. Slot a pair of photon torpedoes in the tubes and computer firing solution targeting the neck of that Klingon ship.
Is the plan to fire on the
Okay.
Klingons, Commander?
We have to be ready in case that's what the captain decides.
You know what this reminds me of? That Star Trek campaign we did at the con.
Oh, I didn't want to say anything because the audience wasn't there for it, but like I had watched this like 3 weeks before that, so it was fresh in my mind when I was like,
God.
I double fist punched the captain.
Perspirations visible at your hairline.
Fire!
Belay that order.
Now it's gone south. She has a phaser.
I'm trying to save all of you.
Stand down.
Well, yeah, the little light's blue. It turns red when it's on kill, I do believe. Yeah, something fun within overarching Klingon lore. That beacon ship they have, they claim that is the actual literal light of Kalis. So instead of it being a spiritual concept, the light of Kalis is a literal thing to the Klingons. I think that's very interesting as a place to go lore-wise. They didn't have the rights to the old Birds of War, which is why they look like that.
Which is my point.
I actually...
That at least, the big one at least has a vaguely kind of sort of structure. The others don't look anything like it.
But yeah, no, the light of Kalis appeared in the sky. All Klingons must now come to the call. Like, in terms of like proper respect for the lore and everything and who the Klingons are, I really think that is the way to do. I know you absolutely hate their appearance.
Most
but
of them aren't religious fanatics. There are Klingon religious fanatics in Star Trek, and it's not most of them.
And I will say this much, that's going to come up. Yeah. We are presently dealing with the fanatics.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's one episode. It's one episode.
Your initial reactions. What are your thoughts thus far?
Most of the negatives were basically things I was also already basically aware of.
You were prepped for going in.
Yeah, I'd seen enough images from trailers and stuff like that, which give you enough early footage that nothing there shocked me. I was aware that it was all going to be. I wasn't aware that the Klingon ships looked that bad. But
see, I don't hate them. I actually kind of feel that's nice because I always felt the Birds of War kind of Birds of Prey all kind of looked identical and the same. Here, it feels like there's a little more personality to each individual piece of the fleet. It seems like there's more variance among them. It seems a little more real in that regard.
I mean, the Birds of Prey aren't the only Klingon vessels, but they're the most common one.
I was about to say, would you agree they are by a wide and far margin the most common?
And interesting thing, even though they all have the basic same structural design, there's actually at least 3 different classes of bird of prey type ship that are of very different sizes.
Yes.
Some of them are the size of the Enterprise D, and others are much smaller.
Which is why I kept saying bird of war, because I thought that's what the big ones were.
No, bird of prey is the general term.
My mistake. My mistake.
There are class names. I don't remember all of them.
Star Trek has always been one of those things. You can tell what faction it is by the shape of their ship.
See, I've never fully been down for that. Like, the Romulan ships all look identical.
The Romulans are the ones who are the most monolithic.
Like, even the Vulcans, you tend to see, like, a different ship every time you see a Vulcan. Like, every time I see a different thing with them.
Not really. I mean, the ones in Enterprise are basically the same thing. They're different. I
also had a very different path through the Trek universe, so I experienced things out of order, and plus, I'm also including things like Spock's ship in the Abramverse. I don't care if that's non-canon. To me, that's still Vulcan design. Just because we don't see it, in X, Y, and Z show doesn't mean it didn't exist to me.
It's an alternate timeline. Strictly speaking, it is technically related. No. The Abrams movies exist in an alternate timeline that crosses over with the Prime timeline.
Original real Spock is in that universe.
Yeah, old Spock in that
actually, to be real specific, the ship I'm talking about that Spock takes in that movie would have originated in that Prime universe.
Yeah, in the Prime universe. Yeah.
No, he died by the time the sequel happened. And there's a very, very tastefully done sequence. Oh, is it the third one?
You find out he passes away in the third one. He's actually in the second one. He has a brief scene in the second one.
Oh shit, that's right, because he talks about Khan being the most dangerous fucker they ever dealt with.
Yeah. Young Spock asks old Spock about Khan. Yeah.
Suleiman Khan. Or no, it's not Suleiman.
Khan Noonien Singh.
Noonien Singh. Okay.
Khan Noonien Singh.
Ricardo Montalban. Exactly. Are you aware of the old Klingon proverb about revenge being a dish best served cold? And it is very cold in space.
Even though he's supposed to be Indian, but
Ricardo Montalban is Indian?
No, Khan is Indian. Ricardo Montalban is not. That is the issue.
I'm gonna stick with a vaguely Latin accent anytime I'm doing a Ricardo Montalban impression. I don't care what his character is. It's Ricardo Montalban. I'm sorry, dude. It's like when I watch a spaghetti western. I know they're not. I know.
Well, partner. But back to the thing we're actually reacting to. I will say, like I said, admittedly, the first part of it, I missed a lot of stuff, a lot of dialogue early on because we went down that rabbit hole.
It's mostly just the general captain shit that starts at the beginning where, talking to number 2 about, so when are you going to be ready to take command? I think I should pass your name along. I couldn't leave you, Cap. It's that normal setup respect crap. Introducing the Klingons. And then the anomaly and everything from the anomaly on is where plot kicks in.
Yeah.
But before that, it's all just introduction. And honestly, I feel you get a better feel for characters from their actions throughout.
And I will go back and I will rewatch this again before we watch another episode. I will make sure I go back and rewatch so that I pick up on everything and have a full understanding of what happened. I mean, like you said, it's casted well. The dialogue is good.
It is dreadfully well written. There are moments that you are just going to be like, because the dialogue is so good. It's so good that it's the type where it's impossible to quote correctly because you have to be smart to even get the cadence of it. Like
you said, the problem here is the packaging. If this were, if it weren't Star Trek, or if they actually, if the ships looked right, and they wear the uniforms, or if it were in a different era, or if the Klingons were a different alien race, all my problems would go away because it wouldn't be contradicting the things that already exist. It would be new stuff the Klingons look perfectly fine as an alien race. I have no problem with the general look. I don't like the outfits that much, but that's a minor nitpick.
That very much adjusts over time.
That's a very.
I just didn't like those because they don't give me the Klingon feel.
Yeah, they don't look like. Other than the fact that they have ridges on their foreheads and they're speaking Klingon. I mean, I don't speak Klingon fluently, or much at all. But it certainly sounded like regular Klingon. It didn't sound like they changed the language at all.
Yeah, not as far as I know. But again,
So,
I'm a layman as well, so.
And although I don't speak it, I definitely Klingon.
But but that's part of what makes it annoying is that there's some parts of it that are kept like very much the same and feel like they fit. And then there's other parts that are drastically different, so it feels disjointed.
I can understand how that would be frustrating.
Almost like an uncanny valley for a franchise. Where you've changed enough of it that it feels different,
like when you get,
but it's not enough to be its own thing.
It's like when you buy a new pair of the same style of shoes. They don't feel like your old ones. They're the same shoes, but they don't feel the same. You're going to step funny for a while.
Or like if you have a video game where, it's still the same characters or whatever, but they've changed the mechanics enough that it doesn't quite feel like that game.
Picked up by a parent studio.
Yeah, you guys will know examples of those a lot better than I will. I know you've mentioned them before.
Between Fallout 2 and Fallout 3. Or some of the early Elder Scrolls and then Morrowind. Once it got picked up by...
I know you've said like some of the... I know people said stuff about some of the Assassin's Creed games are drastically different. The Fallouts... what's the franchise where the one called Andromeda everybody has problems with?
Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, yeah.
That one just from 1 to 2 to 3 goes through so many mechanics changes.
Yeah.
Andromeda is so bad, the next announced game in the series is just being called Mass Effect 4.
Yeah.
We're pretending the fourth game didn't happen.
They did that with the Crash Bandicoot franchise. Game number 6 or 7 is just called Crash 4 because they want to pretend the other 3 don't exist.
No, those are expansions. Standalone expansions. It was a thing. Ask your grandparents.
Yeah, no, I mean,
are you at least excited for potential of what's coming?
I'm engaged.
Engaged?
I'm engaged?
He used the Picard word. He used the Picard word.
Yeah, I won't say I'm excited, but I'm engaged. I didn't see anything there that immediately made me go, yeah, nope, screw this.
It gets better.
There was
it's
only
like
one
anything
episode.
Else. It's a
it was
start.
an introduction. I don't other than the main character, whose name I knew going into this. Other than her, I haven't picked up any names yet or anything like that.
Saru is the Kelpian guy.
Saru is I heard names. I just haven't. Yeah. Like you said, I got to go back and I got to watch it again on my own so that I can actually fully absorb it without the conversation. Because obviously when we watch this later on, I won't be constantly commenting on all of the already obvious stuff. We'll see how much actual detail there is to comment on episode by episode. But
I'm excited for this because I really feel it goes back to the drawing board for Trek in a good way. I think a lot of new ideas get expressed in this. I think we get to see different takes on stories that we've seen before. There's transporter issues. There's time loop distortions. There is all the same fun, crazy monster of the week sci-fi action, but in a slick, bright, shiny new box.
I'll put it this way: if I do end up liking this to a degree, what that's basically going to end up being is it's going to be, for me at least, it might be something I enjoy and I'm familiar with, but it won't be part of my canon.
What if
I will refuse to recognize any of this as having existed in the prime timeline?
What
at
if
all?
What if Star Trek Discovery is just a TV show about the history of Starfleet in the Federation? Because all we ever get in the other Treks is them talking about shit that's ancient even to us. Like, we're going to a string quartet. They're playing Beethoven, blah, 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 blah. All that shit. And it's just like, wow, no new culture was created. What if this was the culture that was created and all of a sudden you're like, I get why they're still hung up on Mozart.
Don't think so. Also, that's not 100% true. They do cover... They do occasionally explore things that are in their past, but are in either our contemporary or in the in-between time. Not a lot, but it does happen. It does come up. But especially in Next Generation and the later ones where they have the original stuff to go back on and dig into. But
I'm just glad that no one has a violin recital in this Star Trek. Nobody. It's fantastic. If somebody likes Klingon opera, it's just a point that they like Klingon opera and it annoys everyone else. We don't have to suffer through it.
That tracks. That tracks.
Hey, I maintain hot doctors. This show is secretly just about hot doctors, is what I realize now.
We'll see. The big question here is going to be whether or not I like it more than I like Picard.
But I thought you actually really liked Picard, though.
I do like Picard.
So I feel like you're setting a goal that's like predetermined to fail there.
That is a bar that it won't cross the bar of any other show. It's not even touching Voyager simply because of the differences. Those already its max out level is below that bar. So it's shooting for Picard. That is the show that it is in range of.
Okay.
So, which is why I use that metric. If it manages to exceed what I like about Picard, consider that a win.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, realistically, if I can make it all the way to the end of the up to current, and I haven't said, yeah, this is just crap. That's also probably a win.
I honestly don't believe you'll have that reaction just from the type of media I know you enjoy. The type of story that they're telling, especially for the long arc, I think you'll be down for. And just from the amount of sci-fi stuff I know you watch, like the Monster of the Week format, that's not something that grates against you. If it did, you wouldn't basic.
I don't believe in filler episodes. That's called episodic television.
Yeah.
It used to be the only type of television. In case people forget about that. Like,
the
that's
reason
what
the
it
professor
used to be.
couldn't invent a boat on the island is because that would have been a through line plot.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I believe we've discovered enough for today.
I believe so. I believe we've rambled and bungled and stumbled our way through that. I hesitate to actually call it a reaction, but it was something.
We reacted. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that not the point?
We did react to things. It wasn't always the show, but we did react to things. So, yeah, it was... yeah, so...
like, comment, subscribe.
Bell for notifications.
Yeah. You're obviously watching us on YouTube. We sort of have a Twitter. Follow us there, I guess.
At Informed and Confused. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll be back to producing podcast. We started doing that, but we're doing this again. So we'll figure things out. We're doing stuff. We're making things for you. It's for you. It's a gift. Appreciate it. Don't look it in the mouth. That's rude.
Yeah. All right. Well, and we'll till next time. We are Informed and Confused. I'm Alan.
I'm Nick.
Later.
Make it so.
No. You tried it on, it doesn't fit. It needs to go back. It needs to go back to the seamstress to be refitted.
Then cold open. I have to step over a chair next time.
All right, if you're gonna try the Picard accent, if you can't do it with the accent,
engage.